how to not raise entitled and ungrateful children. Have you ever seen one of those kids who's just a brat, and they really seem like they're in the driver's seat with their parents, telling their parents what they want? You know, the poor parents, they're just worn out, run down, miserable. There are 3 things that you need to know if you have kids. It's not too late if you already have them and they're already kind of going in that direction. But there are 3 things that you need to know if you already have kids, or if you ever want to have kids, or if you know somebody with kids. There are 3 things that you need to know in order to help shape those children to be positive, happy, grateful, and not entitled people. I'm giving you the 3 steps that not only work for me, my husband, in raising our 5 kids, but also work for many other people who I know, including one of my mentors who gave me one of these as my starting piece of parenting advice. That's what you're getting today, so stick around.
Guild Coaching. More success, less stress.
My husband and I have raised 5 kids. Their ages range from the mid-20s all the way down to the single digits. And there's one thing, even though each of our beautiful children are very, very different people, there's one thing that each of them has in common. They are grateful and they are not entitled. And today what I'm giving you are the top 3 parenting techniques that we have used in raising our kids that work not only for us, but for everyone who we've shared this with. And it also works for one of my business mentors who I've known for almost 20 years. And so I'll start with that piece of the advice. Now, what I want you to do is go ahead and open up the comment section of this video, because when you have just an aha moment, when there's a little piece of learning, unless you have notes, what I want you to do is just type in your learning there. And then when the video concludes, you can post the comment and you're always going to have your notes right there. Plus other people are going to be able to see your notes and they can learn from them. It helps to reinforce your learning and give you an anchor to look back on. Okay, so open up that comment section. So the very first piece of parenting know-how that I'd like to share with you, I'd like to share a story first. When I was pregnant with my daughter, who's 12 and a half at this time, I was having a party. Someone who I care about a lot was hosting a party for me, a baby shower for me, and I went to her home. And her husband had been a boss of mine, had been one of my managers, and he is one of my mentors. And he was married to her. It's his second marriage. His first marriage, that he had 3 beautiful girls. And with my friend who was throwing the party for me, he has 2 other beautiful girls, so another family of 5. Same dynamics as mine. My husband, my 3 oldest children are stepchildren, and then our 2 youngest are ours. But his eldest daughter, who was 15 or 16 at the time, came downstairs. He was in the kitchen doing some stuff, and I was just sitting there. I had arrived early so that I could greet the guests, but he was in the kitchen, and his eldest came down and said, "Dad, there's a basket of laundry at the top of the stairs. Would you like me to iron that?" Said no 16-year-old ever. And so I just sit here and watch this exchange, and he seemed completely unaffected by it and looked up, was like, "Oh yeah, sweetheart, that would be fantastic. I think that the ironing board are, up there at the top of the stairs." She's like, "Okay, Dad, no problem." And she takes off. And I was just looking at him probably like this. And he said, "What?" And I said, "How do I turn this," pointed to my big pregnant belly, "how do I turn this into that?" And he said, "Oh, very easy." He said, "Right now, that baby is as intelligent or more intelligent than you are. And so you have to understand that right now. That baby doesn't have all the knowledge that you have, but that baby's as or more intelligent than you are, and you have to treat her with utmost respect every single moment, because she is an intelligent being." And by treating his children with respect, all of them were like that. It was just this beautiful, respectful relationship. That is the first key. So I want you to type that into the notes. I need to respect and honor my kids' intelligence. Respect and honor. Those are two very, very big words. When you give respect and honor to children, then it helps to build them up. It builds up their self-esteem. It also builds up their self-respect, and it models for them respectful and honorable behavior toward others. So that is number one. Number two, as your children get older, or nieces and nephews, or neighbors' kids, or whatever, they are capable of different things. The worst behaved children that I've ever seen don't have any purpose attached to their life. They're just supposed to go and have fun and be kids. And that's fine. Yes, I do think that our kids need to go and have fun and be kids, and there needs to be time for them to do that. There needs to be time for us to do that too, because we're just big kids. But there needs to be time for kids to go and do that. However, kids also need a purpose. We all need to be fulfilling a purpose. And at each threshold of your child's life, whether your child is a week old or 10 years old or 30 years old, there is a threshold there of capability. And so you need to find that threshold and meet it with requirements, with duties. So for example, my daughter's first duty was to learn how to sleep through the night. After I brought her home, she needed to learn how to sleep through the night. And so I focused on that. I didn't stress out about it. I was kind. I shepherded her in how to sleep through the night. Now, when you bring a new baby home from the hospital, or if you have a baby in your home with a midwife or whatever, when you're on your own with a new baby, it's said that that child may not sleep through the night continually for 12, 18 weeks. But that's really because people are going the force way and not the power way. When you empower your children because you're following that respect and honor guideline, then you're empowering your children to rise to the occasion. That's all any of us want to do, is to be empowered to rise to the occasion. So I made it perfectly clear to my little baby that I had an expectation that as soon as humanly possible, she would sleep through the night. Now for infants, sleeping through the night is 5 or more straight hours, which my daughter achieved at 4 weeks and 5 days old. 4 weeks and 5 days old, she was sleeping 5.5 or more hours per night. And that's because I gave her the requirement. I verbalized it to her. Could she speak English yet? She was learning. She was learning. And so energetically, she was picking up the message. Then after she slept through the night, another duty. You got to learn how to push yourself up. You got to strengthen your muscles. Come on, let's do this. Let's do that. Now she's 12.5. She is so developed that she's able to clean, do laundry, help with cooking. She's also able to go and be fun, have fun, and enjoy her life. But those pieces of her life are so much more enjoyable because she is learning how to live up to her next threshold. So that's number 2. And number 3, honestly, everybody, you have to make sure that your children know consequences. There are far too many parents who say, if this happens, then this, but then this doesn't really happen. Okay, if this happens, then this, but it doesn't happen. It's just a bunch of empty threats. Your children have to learn cause and effect consequences. So what would be the effect of the baby not sleeping through the night? Well, if she's not tired enough to sleep through the night, I'm going to limit her nap time the next day. Cause and effect. Is it going to be hard for me to limit her nap time the next day? Maybe, but I'm going to do it. You have to have something that equals the scales. And this isn't just consequences, negative, taking the negative in connotation of that word. This is consequences. Hey, when you do this wonderful thing, wonderful things happen. This is the consequence of doing something wonderful, is something wonderful. Establish consequences and stay true to your word with them and model this for them in your own life. So those are my 3 top pieces of parenting advice. So you'll have happy children who aren't entitled and greedy, so that they will be able to recognize the abundance in their life and rise to the occasion, because your top job as a parent is to raise someone who can be a responsible and independent adult. If this video has been of help to you, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and hit that little bell. That'll give you a notification so you'll know the next time that we upload a video to help you live a life with more success and less stress. Till next time, I'm Dr. Jane with Guild Coaching, guildcoaching.com.